Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home. Thank you for coming back to the channel today, and if you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray release of a new transfer from Warner Brothers. This is The Green Mile, starring Tom Hanks and based on a great Stephen King novel. So I'm going to be diving in and talking just a little bit about the movie and some quick thoughts on that, but primarily about the video, the audio, and then packaging and special features, and really whether or not this one's going to be worth upgrading in your Blu-ray or DVD collection and getting this 4K copy from Warner Brothers. Now, if you're new here or you've watched a few videos, you know what the channel is about: 4K reviews, Blu-ray collecting, movie collecting, physical media. If you like that sort of stuff, please subscribe. Help us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers here in 2022. I'd really appreciate it. Now, let's get right to the review. So I'm going to start things off here with a quick hot take. And this is probably going to be a little controversial for some of you out there, but I have to say, when it comes to Stephen King movies, there's sort of his horror genre, right? And then there's sort of his more like supernatural stuff, but also just like dramatic stuff that he writes. And The Green Mile is sort of a supernatural-ish drama, sort of in line with like The Shawshank Redemption, less supernatural there, but a prison drama. And the two of them are often compared, and I have to say, I do think The Green Mile, this is the hot take, I think The Green Mile is a better movie than The Shawshank Redemption, and I like the story more, I like the performances a lot better, and I think it's just overall a better and more well-done movie than Shawshank. Now, I know Shawshank is like a top 10 IMDb rated movie of all time. Some people put it as #1. It's a great movie, but I've always just preferred The Green Mile. So I was really, really excited to see this one get a new 4K master here in 2022 from Warner Brothers and their new team over there doing transfers, which has done some excellent work. Now, you may have noticed lately a lot of Warner Brothers 4K titles have been pretty high quality and made a lot of my top 10 lists. And I think that is partly due to the fact that the studio distribution services has taken over Universal and Warner Brothers combined efforts and really made some real strides in consolidating physical media, but making sure that we have a solid team for all of those labels. And that team has done a great job with not only Universal, but also the Warner Brothers stuff. So The Green Mile was shot on 35mm, and according to IMDb, this is a brand new 4K master here for 2022. So they went back and rescanned it. They probably did some color grading with HDR and gave it a new look and feel. And I have to say that this is one of my favorite 4K releases of the last 12 to 18 months. This movie looks incredible on 4K. Honestly, looks as clean as if it could have been shot within the last 2 years rather than the last 25. It is that good. The detail is incredible. A huge upgrade over Blu-ray, especially with this great source that has a bit of limitations at times. Like there are some source issues where the grain gets a little bit soft, but the parts of the movie where we don't have the source issue are just pristine. The grain looks incredible. You can barely tell it's there, which is really the ideal situation. Make sure there is some grain structure. Make sure you don't, scrub the film and all of that. But ideally with a great 4K transfer, you barely notice it. And that's what we've got here. You barely notice this was shot on film because it looks that clean. And the 4K detail really does take this to the next level. Now, another big change is the color grading and the color timing on this release. This does have HDR10, no Dolby Vision or HDR10 Plus, but just HDR10, but it is a dramatic difference from what you may be used to on the Blu-ray. This happens a lot with Blu-rays, but the Blu-ray is very much a warmer, yellow, orange, very warm image. And the 4K disc here cools that down a little bit. And I do think that the warmth you see in a lot of older Blu-rays is unnatural. People's skin tones are off. The yellows and the oranges are too bright. They're too warm. And I think that HDR really helps with this release and some of the new color grading that they've done. It gives it a much more natural look and feel. Gives it a little bit of a colder look and feel too, which I think suits the prison sort of setting a little bit better than the previous Blu-ray. And you'll notice in a lot of the screenshots, there can be a pretty dramatic difference. But overall, I was really pleased with the visuals. It looked incredible on my TV. I had no issues. The disc never skipped. None of that fun stuff. It was just a really fun viewing experience and a step 2 places in the right direction over what the Blu-ray could do, which was pretty good in its own right, but this 4K disc blows it away. Now, the great thing about this release is we're also getting an audio upgrade up to Dolby Atmos. So the previous releases had their 5.1 tracks, but this takes us to Dolby Atmos. And while it's not a movie that necessarily has a ton of higher end surround sound moments, the Dolby Atmos is a really nice track. It gives you a little bit extra with some of the soundtrack. Some of the louder scenes definitely expand a little bit. It's nothing over the top like a Saving Private Ryan. That's always my sort of reference. It's not like that loud or that crazy, you know, it's just the nature of the movie. But the Atmos, I do tend to find it helps with dialogue balance, and it helps with balance across all your surround sound speakers. And it's usually a better experience no matter what you're listening on. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very nice upgrade. Nothing that's going to be like super noticeable maybe because it doesn't have enough moments to shine, but everything just sounded excellent. And you can't complain whenever you get an Atmos track, even if it is just a slight upgrade. The audio here is very solid, and I'd recommend it for that as well. Now for the packaging, we get some sort of new artwork. Usually it's just a picture of Tom Hanks, right, with his prison guard outfit, a close-up, sort of like what you see here on the back. That's typically what we get. So I kind of like they switched up the slipcover a little bit. On the inside, you just have your pretty standard release here, nothing crazy. You got a Blu-ray, you got a 4K disc, and then it does have a 4K digital copy included as well. So nothing too crazy there, but I do like they switched up the artwork and gave Michael Clarke Duncan his flowers here, putting him front and center on the cover because he really deserves it. He drives this movie. As great as Tom Hanks is, this is Michael Clarke Duncan's greatest performance. Now for special features, it is sort of light on the 4K disc. You've just got a commentary by Frank Darabont. That makes sense given the movie's 3 hours long. That's a lot of data, and I'm sure they didn't have much room for special features. So your special features are going to be on the Blu-ray, and they're all sort of legacy features here. You got some additional scenes, the making of the Green Mile documentary, the Green Mile featurette gallery, Tom Hanks makeup tests, Michael Clarke Duncan screen tests, the teaser trailer, and the theatrical trailer. So all that stuff from previous releases gets ported over here, so that's great, but it is all going to be on the Blu-ray disc if you want to check those out. Just the commentary by Frank Darabont on the 4K, but having anything on the 4K is nice. So overall, this is one of my favorite Stephen King novel adaptations. It is a great movie. It is, in my opinion, better than The Shawshank Redemption, and maybe only The Shining actually outdoes this in terms of just what I think are the greatest Stephen King adaptations. So it's a ton of fun to watch. It is really looks great on 4K. And I should say, it's not a ton of fun to watch. It's a ton of fun to watch visually. The movie's tough, obviously. This is a very emotional, sad, dramatic movie, but it's a ton of fun to see how great it looks on 4K with this new transfer, new HDR, new color grading, new Dolby Atmos. All that stuff just makes for a great experience, and in my opinion, it's one of the best discs that's been released this year and in the last 12 to 18 months. So it's a must-have upgrade for you. If you're looking to change and upgrade your Blu-ray or DVD, you're going to see a striking difference over Blu-ray and a huge difference over any old DVD copies or any like times you've watched this on TV or something. It is a game changer on 4K here, and it's a must-own disc. So props to Warner Brothers on this one. Their team over there at the Studio Distribution Services has done another great job with this release, and the Warner Brothers releases continue to hit it out of the park. So if you want to pick this one up, I will leave a link down in the description. Now, luckily, I didn't notice any issues with this. Doesn't sound like there's going to be any recalls, so go ahead and order it. I know that's risky these days, but the Green Mile is a really solid disc, near perfect in my opinion, and is definitely one you should own. So go check the link down in the description from Amazon. If you pick it up with my link, that helps support my channel, so I appreciate it. Other than that, make sure you check out all my other links, social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all down in the description as well. That's a great way to follow along, stay in touch with me. Make sure you subscribe and have your notifications on, and check out all the other links for ways you can support my channel. So really appreciate y'all watching this video and this review. I've got plenty more coming because February, March, and April are going to be huge for 4K, and I've got some other cool videos and topics to talk about too. So make sure you're paying attention to the channel and following along. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Definitely check out the Green Mile on 4K. You'll really enjoy it. And stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll talk to you all soon.